The Falcon Heavy is twice as powerful as any other rocket that can be used. The Falcon Heavy can send nearly 64 metric tons into space. This is more than twice as much as the Delta IV Heavy, which is the next closest operational vehicle. In a statement to Bloomberg, the U.S. Space Force says that the first military launch of SpaceX's Falcon Heavy rocket could still happen before the end of the year. For more information, watch the video till the end. Welcome to Techmo. In today's video, we will be sharing with you the latest news regarding SpaceX's first military mission in 2022. So without any more delay, let's jump into the video. Over the course of the year, SpaceX could send up to 3 Falcon Heavy rockets for the military into space. Since June of 2019, it's been about 8 months, and the world's most powerful and capable operational rocket hasn't flown once. This rocket has 11 firm launch contracts to back it up. At that time, the next launch of the rocket was not expected until late 2020, which was about 18 months away. Instead, the rocket's fourth flight is not likely to happen before about 40 months after the third one. This is because problems with the satellites that Falcon Heavy is supposed to launch that are mostly unknown have caused the completion of the satellites to be constantly delayed. Fortunately, a recent Space Force decision should at least lessen the pain brought on by the constant shuffle of Falcon Heavy's upcoming launch schedule. The Falcon Heavy is significantly more powerful than any other operational rocket in the world by a factor of 2. More than twice as much payload can be lifted by the Falcon Heavy in comparison to the next closest operational vehicle. At liftoff, the Delta IV Heavy Falcon Heavy is powered by more than 5 million pounds of thrust, which is equivalent to approximately 18,747 aircraft with more than 5 million pounds of thrust at liftoff. The Delta IV Heavy Falcon Heavy is made up of 3 Falcon 99 engine cores, each of which contains 27 Merlin engines. Together, these engines generate more than 5 million pounds of thrust. When compared to other rockets currently in the air, the Falcon Heavy has a liftoff thrust that is equivalent to approximately 18,747 aircraft operating at full power. A fully loaded Boeing 737 jetliner can be launched into orbit by a Falcon Heavy rocket, along with all other passengers, their luggage, and their fuel. The Merlin rocket engine family was designed and developed by SpaceX specifically for use on the company's Falcon 1, Falcon 9, and Falcon Heavy launch vehicles. In a gas generator power cycle, Merlin engines propel rockets with RP-1 and liquid oxygen as rocket propellants. The Merlin engine was conceptualized from the beginning with recovery and recycling in mind. Bloomberg was given a statement. The U.S. Air Force Space Command reports that SpaceX's Falcon Heavy rocket may yet be able to carry out its first test launch for the military before the end of this calendar year. This is a significant decrease from the late 2021 and early 2022 projections. In the absence of any new information from the U.S. military, it appeared as though SpaceX could launch anywhere from 1 to 3 Falcon Heavy rockets for military customers throughout the course of the year. Since June of 2019, the world's most powerful and capable operational rocket, which is backed by a strong manifest of 11 firm launch contracts, has not flown once since the beginning of this year, which is approximately 8 months later. At that time, the next launch of the rocket was already anticipated to take place no sooner than late 2020, resulting in a gap of approximately 18 months instead. The completion of the satellite's Falcon Heavy rocket, which was supposed to launch, has been relentlessly delayed due to largely unspecified problems, and it is now highly unlikely that the rocket will make its fourth flight in fewer than approximately 40 months after its third flight. Thankfully, a new Space Force decision should at least put an end to the agony caused by the never-ending reshuffling of Falcon Heavy's near-term launch manifest. In addition, a slight schedule update stated that SpaceX's first operational Falcon Heavy launch for the US military could still take place sometime between October and December of 2022. Bloomberg did not publish the statement in its entirety or provide an explanation of what the decision entails. However, the Space Force statement that was provided to Bloomberg primarily revealed the decision that the military branch made in June to allow SpaceX to use reused Falcon Heavy boosters on upcoming launches. The implication is that the Space Force will now allow SpaceX to assign flight-proven Falcon boosters to its military missions while maintaining U.S. military oversight of those operations. The U.S. military will probably keep the right to veto or modify SpaceX's booster assignments and reuse sequencing. However, according to Bloomberg, the Space Force is confident that SpaceX uses well-established processes for the recovery, refurbishment, and launch of its boosters. In point of fact, the US military has already given its approval for SpaceX to use flight-proven Falcon 9 boosters, of which there have been several instances since the approval was given. The military has also granted permission for SpaceX to fly two reused Falcon Heavy side boosters during the rocket's first launch for the military. It should not come as a surprise that this acceptance would eventually grow to include Falcon Heavy, which is comparable to Falcon 9 in many ways. However, the fact that it took the USSF until June of 2022, 3 full years after STP-2 demonstrated the successful reuse of 2 Falcon Heavy boosters at the same time to fully approve Falcon Heavy is surprising. It is arguably much more surprising that SpaceX will likely be able to plan for future Falcon Heavy launches more easily, knowing that the US military should, in theory, be okay with the company reusing boosters on upcoming launches. This is something that has the potential to make SpaceX a much more dominant player in the space industry. This would be especially true in the event that the military is comfortable with SpaceX recycling Falcon Heavy boosters that have supported non-military launches after a number of delays. Since the end of 2021, the target date for the launch of geostationary communication satellites ViaSats first and third has shifted from the spring, late summer, and September of 2022 to the fourth quarter of 2022. However, the company still claims that a launch in 2022 is possible. USSF-44, USSF-52, and USSF-67 were at one point all planned to launch on Falcon Heavy in 2022. The launch dates for these missions have since been pushed back. One reliable source says that USSF-44 and USSF-52 are delayed indefinitely, while another says that USSF-54 has been pushed back to December of 2022 and USSF-52 has been pushed back to April of 2023. In the meantime, the launch of EchoStar Jupiter 3 communication satellite was recently pushed back to the first quarter of 2023. And the launch of NASA's Psyche asteroid explorer aboard the Falcon Heavy was pushed back from August of 2022 to either July or September of 2023 due to software problems. That leaves ViaSat-3 and USSF-67, both of which could launch in the fourth quarter of 2022. However, given how behind schedule ViaSat-3 has been, and how temperamental all military Falcon Heavy payloads have been, the most likely outcome in 2022 may already be 0 launches of Falcon Heavy satellites. There are at least 10 confirmed Falcon Heavy launches in SpaceX's backlog. These launches include missions to send NASA's Europa Clipper spacecraft toward Jupiter and to send the first 2 elements of the planned Gateway mini space station toward the Moon in 2024. Both of these missions are scheduled to take place in 2024. In addition, the Viper Moon rover from NASA is scheduled to launch on a Falcon Heavy toward the end of 2023. A weather satellite from NOAA is scheduled to launch on a Falcon Heavy in 2024. In addition, NASA has awarded SpaceX a contract to perform 2 Falcon Heavy flights, which will be used to boost Dragon XL cargo missions on their way to the Gateway station in the later half of the 2020s. The Falcon Heavy is constructed from 3 upgraded versions of the Falcon 9 first stage boosters that are linked together in a triple-core arrangement. When the rocket is ready to lift off, its 27 Merlin main engines produce approximately 5.1 million pounds of thrust, which is more than any other rocket that is currently in operation. Over the next few years, the US military will award more launch contracts to the Falcon Heavy. The US Space Force made an announcement late in 2018 regarding the awarding of multi-billion-dollar contracts to United Launch Alliance, Vulcan Centaur rockets, and SpaceX Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy launchers to carry out the military's most critical national security payloads through the year 2027. So that's all for today's video. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you want to watch more videos like this one, hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so that you will always be notified.